All right, y'all. Welcome back. We have some unfortunate news. The four-star athlete, Legend Bey, who was committed to our Tennessee Volunteers, has decommitted and he's flipped to Ohio State. So you can see he's a four-star with On Three and with Rivals. He's a three-star with 24/7 Sports and with ESPN. But y'all also know that I take the ratings and the grades and that type of stuff with a grain of salt coming from most of these websites. But he's a guy that is special. You know, he's a 10-200-meter guy. He can just do a lot of different things. He's playing quarterback for his high school team out there in Texas. Excellent level of competition. But I mean, just his open field running is way up there. So for me, I said, like, my player comp was Percy Harvin. I don't say that lightly. Percy Harvin, didn't like him at Florida, but I recognize his game. You know what I'm saying? I recognize that this is a guy with a very special skill set. And I think that Legend Bay was about on that level. So listed at 5'9", 170 here with On Three. I think 24/7 Sports might have him closer to 6 feet tall, whatever. But with this type of speed, with this type of open field running, being a guy who could play wide receiver, he can play some quarterback for you. He could play some running back for you. Special teams, he'd be a nightmare. That part of it hurts for our Tennessee Volunteers. And y'all please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Shouts out to our members. But I would still say this, right? And we actually talked about this with our members, that he's a guy that we would love to hold on to. But I don't think it's necessarily make or break for this class. I don't. For several reasons. But I would say, like, the biggest thing is that our staff, our offensive staff is not well versed with using gadget pieces just yet. Think about it now. Like, we just transitioned from going straight, veer and shoot, kind of like a gimmicky offense, to running more pro style elements. And then I think once you get used to the pro style, then you start to add some of the, like, gadgetry. And I don't know. And I'm sure that he would have been a big part of the transition to that. But I don't know if we would have been able to maximize what he does. Now, what's interesting to me for Legend Bay is that Tennessee wanted him to play wide receiver, obviously more like slot wide receiver. But it sounds like maybe Ohio State's consider him playing more running back. Now, I could see a wide receiver maybe saying, you know what? If the Buckeyes want me to come play wide receiver, how do you turn that down? But running back, really? I don't really understand that, because they don't use their running backs as gadget pieces any better than Tennessee does. So I don't understand that. But I mean, look, more power to him. Of course, you hate that he's not going to be part of this class for us as Tennessee Vols. But I'm never mad at these kids. If he feels like that's the best, if him and his family sat down, that's their best situation. I hope that it works out for him. I'm not going to be like a bitter person. But as far as the rankings, which, I think a lot of people care about this type of stuff. I don't think that Tennessee dropped too much in the rankings. This is On Three. We might have been at number 8, maybe number 9 nationally. I'm not sure, but if we dropped, I think we only dropped down like one spot nationally. In the SEC, I don't know if we dropped at all. So 5th here, we might have dropped one spot, maybe 2. But it's not a huge difference from that standpoint. So I want to make sure that I did point that out. 24/7 Sports, I think same thing here. So we're ranked 8th nationally. I don't know what it is in the SEC. But it's just really not that big of a difference whenever you're looking at the rankings. Now, folks are going to be asking, who should we go target? And as actually someone had the foresight to ask this question maybe last week, like whenever we talked about Legend Bay. I think we might have talked about Ole Miss some too, but they were asking, who should we get if Legend Bay leaves? And then, like, from Ole Miss, like, who should we get from Ole Miss if Legend Bay leaves? I said Corey Barber. And for those of y'all that have watched our channel for quite some time, we talked about Corey Barber months ago before he chose Ole Miss. And I said, man, I love his game. Like, to me, he's a prototype NFL wide receiver. As a high school guy, right? Like, you can see him growing into that. But he's more of like a true wide receiver and less of a gadget piece. Plays in the state of Alabama. Great football's played there. But 6 feet tall, 185 pounds, consensus 4-star, if that matters to you. Doesn't really matter too much to me. But I would say that he's not going to be Legend Bay, but he is going to be a very, very good player. Just like different skill sets, different players. To me, he's more of, again, probably more of like a slot, but he's an inside-outside guy. He could play inside or outside at wide receiver. But I love how fluid he is. He has great speed. He's a track guy too. He has good size. He has great hands, tracks the football well. I think that he has the dog that you're looking for. And we can probably utilize his skill set a little bit easier and earlier if we were to try to go and target him and say, well, you know what, Legend Bay's leaving. We got some more funds. Let's try to allocate those funds to another wide receiver. This is probably like the first guy that I would go to, just like off the top of my head. Are there some other guys maybe that we could target? Sure. But Tennessee targeted as many wide receivers, as many, whatever you want to call it, offensive linemen, defensive ends, whatever. They're targeting a certain number. They're going to accept a certain number of offers based off of the numbers that they know that they need for this roster in 2026. We talked a whole lot about that roster in 2026. So I think that we want to get another wide receiver because we lost Legend Bey. Maybe a guy who can also be special teams for you. So I don't know what they put a higher precedent on. If it's we want a guy that's more of a wide receiver or a guy that's more special teams, but you probably want to try to get both some sort of a way. This would be a guy that I wouldn't mind maybe allocating a few more funds to, especially understanding that him being a part of the Ole Miss class, is Coach Kiffin going to stick around there? I have no idea. Okay, I have no idea. And it also doesn't mean that if Coach Kiffin goes to Florida, that Corey Barber couldn't follow him there and any of the other players. But the whole point is I think that there is a window there, like the door is kind of cracked open. We know that we're going to have those funds. Utilize the funds, go and target people who can play. And I think that Tennessee's going to be fine. So this is a day that we all kind of were anticipating coming. It's not ideal, but it doesn't mean that everything is lost. Like all hope isn't lost. And I think that Tennessee will be able to make up ground and we'll figure out what we need to do moving forward. And I feel like we will be fine. But those are my thoughts. Please share y'all's down in the comments section. And as always, y'all please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And we will be talking to y'all tomorrow. Thanks. Peace. Thanks for watching. And please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.